Sometimes you can't schedule a self-care day, you have to make a self-care day. Sometimes you have to light a candle. I get mine from sugarandgrace.co. Check them out at sugarandgrace.co. Mine is called Leo. Sometimes you have to write in your journal, come to grips with a few things, and set aside your favorite chocolates and really make time for yourself. I highly encourage that if this sounds like you, to definitely take full advantage of the time that you have by yourself. It can be one hell of a blessing. Hello, my beautiful peaches. It's your girl, SavannahCurls, coming back at you with another video. Today, I wanted to just kind of focus on self-care. I stay in self-care mode. It's just a lot that's going on all the time, so I have to be extra careful with myself. I'm going to more or less do a refresh, but I would definitely like to say with my hair, I'm going to do a refresh with my hair, take care of it. It's about that time. So I'm going to take this down. We're going to chat a little bit, tell you what's going on in my world. So, yeah, all of that. I mean, try to protect my baby from all of the world's evil. All of the world's evil. Right now, it's just rough. It's rough everywhere for everybody. However, it is what it is. The waves, the follicles are definitely popping, healthy per usual. Like mega consistency. Really digging that right now. So definitely no shame in my game. I had to take a step back from the hot girl summer I thought I was gonna have. Because I thought I would have some time to actually do these pop and wash and goes, but then you gotta deal with negativity, then you gotta deal with actually having time and showing up for customers and things like that. And so it's just like gonna had to put a pin in the hot girl summer. It's more like a lukewarm summer for me, because I've been in the house the entire time, whether it's like I'm indoors making products, things like that. So it is what it is. So I was flying fast and loose for the most part with my hair, more or less doing, I was able to wear the wash and go, but not necessarily maintain it, not necessarily refresh my hair some of those times. And I'm just like, well, it's no point if my hair is going to be dry. There's no point if my hair is going to be tangled up. And if you don't have time to take care of it and do preventative maintenance, then you may as well tuck it up. If you don't got time, tuck it up. Go to the rivers and the lakes that you're used to, and put them things up in the good old tried and true dookie braids and call it a day. And so what I do have time for is not a complete wash, but most certainly a refresh. So that's what I'm about to do. On top of that, we're going to talk a little bit. There's been a lot of things that I have discovered in the last couple of weeks that I didn't necessarily know about, that I kind of had under wraps. A few things fell through and kind of messed up my mojo in a sense, but when we fall down, we get up. So when one door or two doors close, there is another one that opens. It's like, can't necessarily focus on that goes wrong. We got to focus on that goes right, create new paths, new opportunities, be open for new things, new changes, cutting people and things, habits out of your life that's hindering you, Like, it's definitely a time to look within. So it's not necessarily just another wash day or another refresh day. This is like a complete self-care day. Um, actually want to get into it in a little bit. I actually discovered that due to the stress that I was under, that I actually had an alopecia attack or episode without necessarily knowing I had it. And I know that's kind of funny, but I'll tell you how that goes in a little bit. So I'm always using my my treatment. Never mind all that. I am normally using my Ayurvedic herbal aloe anti-shedding scalp treatment to take care of my hair. Like, no questions asked. That's like a tried and true staple for sure, along with the shea butter. But one of them times I was washing my hair, I did see like what looked like a very uniform cluster of hair kind of fall out, but I really didn't think anything of it. Like, and I normally never do, but then when I was splitting and parting my hair one day, I found like a very, very fresh patch of hair, and I was just like, this looks like new growth. Like, this looks like, um, this actually looks like some new growth. I'm like, why is this new growth patch of hair so short? Like, that's interesting. Why is it like so many of them growing uniformly right now? And I was just like, well, that must have been when that cluster of hair had fell out that one time. So that's with, especially if you know for a fact your alopecia is triggered by stress, like mine is. So right now I am doing my best to mitigate stress in my life, maybe taking a second look at things that I may not have necessarily thought didn't bother me, but was possibly interfering with my flow, with my peace, with my space, with my just with my ability to focus, be ready on time. Like, all of those things had to, everything, people, places, spaces, faces, everything had to be reevaluated, because I'm not going down like that. I very much so know what my um alopecia stress is caused by, and it just was kind of like one of those indicators that I probably let some stuff linger on and linger about my general vicinity, around my proximity for too long. Um, it actually felt really good to cut and remove those things from my life. Um, it's like I'm just not in the business of um questioning those things. Like, I happen to have uh at this point in my life, like, my peace is absolutely my number one priority. um it I was always used to showing up for others so much that I would actually end up what what I need to the side for the most part, because I thought I was invincible, thought I was superwoman, thought I could deal with some stuff, and then turns out that I'm not supposed to be long and strong for everything and everybody, and especially people who show you who they are. So I'm like, nah, I'm good. It's not worth it to have this in my space when my main focus is peace. Like, I don't want to be involved in no shenanigans that's not true to me. And you got to respect that. You got to respect that. Doesn't seem to be too much shedding in this section. I thought I'd end up with some, but don't really see anything, so just gonna keep on pushing. Grab this, like the same thing I usually end up doing during my length journeys or during my refresh phases. Just gonna evenly distribute this TGIN to give like a slow absorption of the moisture from there. Should have probably had my cutting shears with me. I feel something that needs to get snipped, but I'll search and destroy on another day. This ain't that type of day. That'll be another day, but the day ain't that day. Definitely saw, like, during the time that I found myself incredibly stressed, I ended up noticing like a distinct change in my sleep pattern for sure. Like, definitely have not been sleeping very well as of late. But I'm definitely slowly but surely addressing that and getting back to it. I think what I've just started doing was just created more like a solid sleep schedule for myself, as opposed to just going to bed any old time of day. Because in my line of business, like, my sleep and my health is paramount. If I ain't good, it all ain't good. So I have to make sure that number one priority is just getting down to the nitty gritty of it all. Whatever the problem is getting down to it and finding solutions. Like, not letting some stuff dwell and stress out in the long term and become an even bigger problem. That's the problem. I usually 9 times out of 10, with my heart being, I'm a big hearted person, so 9 times out of 10, I love to give people the benefit of the doubt, but then you get to a place like that, really, like, sometimes it's not everybody. It's like the repeat offenders, like repeat people who constantly show you and tell you that your time don't mean nothing to them. It's not what they say, it's what they do. And like, your time, your energy, your contribution don't mean anything to them. And then you find yourself hurt and taken advantage of. And so you just gotta, really draw a line. And so it took me years to figure that out. Absolute years to figure that out. Because at the end of the day, the only person that ends up affected or bothered or hurt or whatever the case may be is me. Like, other people are out here living their whole best lives while I'm still, concerned and, worried or, and involved. And, I find myself giving 10 times more energy in the wrong direction when I needed to be giving my own self that type of energy, so it's really been an eye-opening experience. I was shown a book lately called, well, two of them, called The Drama of the Gifted Child. More or less like a breakdown on maybe like it'll just give you like a breakdown of your past, basically, and kind of sort of giving you the origins, or having you take a more astute look at maybe the foundation of yourself by reevaluating your past. That one has been absolutely invaluable into allowing me to see certain things lately. And then there is the art, or is it the art of love, or the mystery of love? I can't remember. I know it's something I got on my Amazon. I'll link it to the video, like, in in the details box or description box below. And so I'm grateful that these things are like free on YouTube and everything like that. You can just kind of sort. I know everything is expensive these days, so it feels wonderful to see that there are just certain things that's for free, and something that actually is going to be beneficial and non-problematic or negative, no less. So it's definitely a win to me. It's definitely a step in the right direction. After listening to both of those books, I really had time to really like look at some things in a way I probably wouldn't typically look at them as. And it's like okay, so I started really evaluating like where I was and everything, and I definitely can say it was not a waste of time for sure. So I'm digging the direction that I'm going, and I love it. And so I definitely like to say, like, as a woman, um, it's pretty hard to. We grow up in a society, or some of those times where a lot is placed on your shoulders, even as a single woman. You know what I'm saying? Like 9 times out of 10, you got to be the bigger person. You gotta come in and save people from themselves, as well as take care of your own responsibilities on your end of the spectrum. And I'm just like, nah, man, not. I mean, the only people that need saving in my book are children. Like, everyone, I feel it should be held accountable for their own direction. Like, there's nothing wrong with giving like a big up to somebody. Definitely, like, you and your peer group are striving and surviving together. You and your significants are, supporting each other and stuff like that. But nobody need to be responding favorably to adult tantrums. Like, no one needs to um having sympathy for repeat offenders and folks who really don't want any real solutions to much. Like, you know like, nobody got time for that. Nobody got time for that. It's like, we all have had it rough. I totally get it, but like, it is not our jobs to save people that done showed you who the heck they are. And that's facts. Like, one thing I had to start looking at for sure is my had to let go of perfection for sure. Like, nothing's ever going to be perfect. It's absolutely impossible. Anyone who tells you that they're striving for perfection will probably drive themselves insane, because there's just no, like, with a mindset like that, there's no room to be human. And I'm not saying be human, oh, I'm human and I'm gonna yell and I'm gonna have a tantrum fit. Like, no one's saying that. Like, that's not what that is. It's just saying that you're allowed to not um you're allowed to wear t-shirts and jeans. It's okay if your hair got a little dry and you forgot to take care of it. It's okay if you did store-bought at your kids' function instead of making homemade cupcakes. It's okay if you needed to take that extra nap after work. Like, it's okay. It's okay. Like, there's a huge difference between having characteristic flaws and having taking time for yourself and really prioritizing yourself for a change. Like, that's okay. It's okay not to go to every event that you're invited to. It's okay to have a staycation as opposed to I don't know, flexing on the gram. It's quite literally okay. Like, it's okay. It is okay. It's okay if your baseboards are a bit dusty. You can you'll get to them eventually. Or if it's that deep, you can just hire somebody to take care of it. Like there's a solution for everything. When I say a solution for everything, there's quite literally solutions out here for everything. There's no need to be uh whatever. It's okay to have a hair setback. It's okay to um take some time to get yours together. Okay. I know I had to. Like, not gonna lie. Like, between that and everything being expensive, like, ciao. Listen. I have been in my house happily playing my Switch in peace, watching my shows in peace, eating my bonbons in peace. It's so funny, but I enjoy my time more than anybody else's time. Like, I like my time. I value my time to myself. Like, I ain't up for doing a whole lot of this, that, and third. Like, I'm cool. Like, I guess I've like had my time in this line where I'm like, oh, like my do the most season is over. Like, I'm chilling. I like to be in my house. I like to be where it is safe, where it's like practically guaranteed safety. Looking at the news reports, you would think that no place is safe. Eat one of these chocolates. Today's video is catered by Ferrero Rocher today. These are my favorite chocolates. Oh, I don't think you can see that. These are my favorite chocolates. Sometimes you just gotta get yourself a bougie snack. Sit down with your bougie snack and be left alone. It is okay. I felt something tangled in this section. Could be wrong, but felt like something need to be figured out. I'm gonna need to get these scissors. I really didn't want to do all that today. This is definitely not a search and destroy day. When I say search and destroy, that's when I kind of sort of feel around for my single strand knots and individually snip them out. That's from wearing that dry failed wash and go did for me. Okay, and then I like take my finger down the hair shaft and feel for anything that is not quite right. I'll have to get that one later. I was able to pull out, feel like this was what was creating that tangle. 9 times out of 10, when you go to detangle your hair is really just trying to shed 1 or 2 hairs. But because of the nature of our hair, it gets stopped along every single twist and bend along the way. So then it makes it seem, for the most part, I actually don't believe that hair should be beaten into submission. I've learned that sometimes doing the most is actually what breaks off people's hair the most. Like some people can wash their hair once a week and still have hair. Or detangle their hair with tools and still have hair. But I am not one of them. I don't believe in impeccable neatness. Like some people, like what matters is that the hair is maintained to a standard, right? Like my hair right here, like I don't know if you can see it, but there are some slight imperfections in there. But if you talk to a certain person, they will tell you that those imperfections would actually bother them. It just depends on the person, and we have to be the first ones to extend each other grace, because there are definitely such things as respectability politics. And it seems like everyone else is granted and given grace but us. Like, the nature of my hair is curly and the curls are not uniform. The coils can curve this way, that way, and stuff like that. So I'm not nearly, with understanding that, I'm not nearly so solid on um I'm not nearly so solid on having like perfection. I'm not that kind of person. Because I know it's impossible. And the pursuit of perfection is what ends up ruining folks' hair in the long run, in my personal opinion. Like, I don't really believe that it's a requirement um for me per se, like having really clean ends and stuff like that. Just depends. Are they healthy? Like, is it time to trim them? Like, are your ends ratty from neglect, or is it, happen to be dry? Like, what is it? So I don't go for neat at all cost type stuff, and or at the cost of my sanity or cost of my self-worth. It's like, no, I'm good. Like, I've learned to relax. Like, I think I've always been like super, super relaxed. Does not surprise me in any way that dookie braids is my preferred way of maintaining my hair and my length on like a reg, because it's just not that deep for me. For some people, and kudos to everybody, like, because we all come in different shades and stuff like that, but it's just extending people the grace of operating in whichever place is best for them. Like, it's like, I'm gonna respect a woman with the afro. I'm gonna respect a woman that's got a perm. I'm gonna respect a woman that has freeform locks. I'm gonna respect a woman that's got sister locks. I'm gonna respect a woman that has rolled locks. I'm gonna respect a woman with a mini fro. I'm gonna respect everybody, because everyone is at a different place and they have their reasons, their seasons, and their reasons. And who am I to come for them? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's no. We all deal with far too much on our own to tear each other down. There's already like stipulations and targets on our backs just for breathing, just for existing. And so I just don't want, I want everyone to keep in mind to be very, very gentle, as we move in the world, because, not every coil needs to be in formation. Not every strand needs to, like, as y'all can tell, I don't slick no edges. Now, whether or not anyone believe I have knotted edges or whatever the case may be, I don't slick a damn thing. I do that because, well, for the most part, for me, I'm not about to give someone the false narrative that I'm going to keep this up at all. Like, ever. Like, I'm not going to do that. I swear on God, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. My edges are for me, and as long as I'm in control of my edges, I'm not about to sit up here and flex. Flex for what? Like, slick up some edges for what? For who? For whose benefit? For whose enjoyment? It don't give me any joy in any way to see my edges sleeked. I actually had kind of a moment when I was at an awards event. I was at an awards event, and it was one of those situations where I had my braids and very little. I had my two braids, two side braids that I normally had worn at the time. And it took everything inside of me not to think that I felt unkept, just because I wasn't wearing like a lace front, or wasn't wearing like some kind of box braid install, or some kind of unit. I was like, dang, you know, it's like typically in these particular situations, these ladies or these situations, most people have like hair that's like this and hair that's like that, and they have their hair flattened and all this other stuff. But listen, look, child, we was outside in the heat by a lake. We was by a lake, okay? It was outside in full sunshine, in the elements. And there really wouldn't my hair would have reverted on site. Like, no matter what, my hair would have been unkept and undone if I had let my hair fly loose. And knowing how in love people America is with tight coiled, like looser coiled hair, with how much America's in love with the 2B, the 2B, the 3B range of hair. I was just like, maybe I should have worn my wash and go. Maybe I should try. Just to flex, and I was like, you know what? I am going to keep the same energy that I've always kept. I'm going to walk out here. I'm going to go to this thing in my authenticity. I don't flex for nobody. I don't wear my hair out for likes, for the glam, for the clicks, for the whatever. I wear my hair by what is most conducive for its health, like, period. That's all. That's all I'll ever do. Ooh. Let's see what we got here. I don't even know what topic or what talking point I was on. Neatness, like excessive neatness. Like, I understand like the need to be presentable, but what exactly is presentable? Is it presentable in the grander scheme of things to the wider world? What is presentable to you? Like, we have to reevaluate like whether or not we're still adhering ourselves to colonial norms. I mean, and I don't mean to like dive that much deeper into it, like, and I probably won't, just because it could get sticky fast. But what I'm trying to say is that people, you know, traditionally in Africa and stuff like that, there's always been a great fascination with having very elaborate hair. Based off of the imagery that I've looked at, never been to Africa. Please do not come for me in the comments. I'm not going to say anything bad, or just saying from my exposure to Africa based off of getting it straight from an African's perspective. But there is a general standard for neatness, and then there is for hair neatness. Like, elaborate hairstyles have been a staple, a staple image that you can expect when you look into traditional African, tribalism and stuff like that. So, I mean, it was, to have concern for your hair has always been like something. And right down to dreadlocks within themselves. I've seen people absolutely do the most with their dreadlocks. I've seen, free-formed locks, and no matter how it goes, like, it's not wrong. Like, but an excessive neatness and an excessive expectation of perfection, and applying that to African Afrocentric hair, will actually break it down for the worst over time. Like, I remember knowing someone that was actually getting their dreads done, and they ended up thinning out their hair, because thinning out one of their dreadlocks, because they wanted a very unrealistic expectation of neatness. Their hair was at a certain length, may have had some broken bits, some broken uneven parts of their hair, um and was just quite literally doing refreshing or re-rolling their hair far too often, um and that caused their dread to thin out. Now, most of the time when a person gets dreadlocks, they get dreadlocks for a lot of reasons, but some people really like the less is more approach to dreadlocks, because you could still have a very beautiful, elaborate hairstyle where you can wear your hair out pretty much in almost every season and have something and look beautiful, neat, and authentic and unique with almost every occasion. There is almost no really bad way to wear dreadlocks. But then, you know, she is I want to stick my hands in my hair every single day, which is not how you typically, which is not something that can usually be done with dreadlocks. She wanted her roots to be laid pretty much at any moment, any part of the day, week, and month, and so she thinned out her dreads. Some people get dreadlocks to give their hair and their scalp rest. Maybe even get back more of their time from having excessive hair care practices. But in this particular case, like, I just don't feel like dreads and her actually went very well together. And I don't, I'm no expert or whatever, but just an observer. And so it's just like, sometimes our image of what is neat can come from a very broken place, depending on your upbringing or your trauma related to hair. Not saying she had trauma. I'm only saying that some people do have traumas related to hair, neatness, imagery, connection to self-worth and stuff like that. So it could get deeper than, when you think about it, it could be deeper than you really know. Like, there is almost no person I know, no African person anyway, that I know that could handle having a full haircut. Like, if they've been growing their hair going on some years and then got bubble gum stuck in their hair and they had to cut, a good 5-10 inches off their hair, that person's probably going to cry. Like, I know I would. I'd be like, Jesus. So we're probably going to cry. It's like, a lot of our identities are really tied. A lot of people's self-worth, when you think about it, is tied into their hair. And sometimes we cannot sometimes those beliefs don't lead us to be as kind to our hair as we need to. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, I have no problems with freeform locks. I think freeform locks are beautiful. I think most people that I've ever seen wear them very well. They wear them very well. Kind of jealous a little bit that, for the most part, that I'm not at a place where I'm like, I would like to have dreads myself, but I probably won't really go that route just for business reasons, or it's such a solid commitment. Like, once I do it, I'd have to snip out so much of my hair just to maybe in case I change my mind. So I really want to make sure that if I do ever go that route, that incredibly sensitive happens to be one of your breakage zones, like your massive breakage zones, it's not the same length as everything else. it's better to isolate your crown and give it its own self-care routine. Take a break from parting down the middle. Take a break from having tension placed on that particular part of your hair. It's best to make sure that you give it extra attention, or extra gentle, extra conscious about what you do around that zone. And I've definitely seen some significant progress when it's come to my crown. My crown used to be like as short as my hand is over my head, but over the years, like I think over the last year, I really made it a point to. I didn't even know that. So over the last year, I've really made it a point to try to get it in formation with the rest of the length of my hair, so that I can have like a full looking head of hair. My crown for the longest time was giving me struggle bus, giving me who did it and why, was giving me what are we doing here, was giving me all my life I had to fight, why for, so really listening to my hair and seeing that it was like naturally under duress and stress. I had to make sure that I switched up my approach. Sometimes your hair can really have like a mind of its own, and you really got to respect the queen above anything, above all. Okay, so my last sections are here, and I think this is where my struggle section was. So at the beginning of the video, I mentioned like having stress, and I mentioned having stress. I guess like I must have really was going through a lot, and so my crown, I end up having like a stress alopecia spot. The alopecia spot has definitely improved, because by the time that I actually discovered it, it had already like filled in. It was looked like it had maybe a month and a half of growth. Yeah, I'm not really sure. It was interesting, but I really didn't actually notice I was missing any hair. That's what made it the strangest of all. I probably wouldn't have noticed if I had a problem anyway, because I consistently use my Ayurvedic herbal aloe anti-shedding scalp treatment. Like that is a staple must in how I take care of my hair. That is a once a week treatment for me. A scalp refresher just to make sure that my dandruff, itching, or inflammation is under control. And then of course it doubles by helping me with any unwanted grays and taking care of my hair growth. My hair grows pretty well and consistently, but if I did have an alopecia attack, then, or alopecia experience, then I may not really have to deal with that bald patch for a long period of time, because it's going to grow it back apparently without me ever having missed it in the first place. Let me see. So where was it? So I was doing my thing, and okay. So if you can see this piece right here, I was like, where did that come from? Why does it look like it's been cut? And I was just like, wait a minute. I was like, that looked about the size of the hair that had fell out when I was washing my hair in the shower, and I was like, it grew back like that? It grew back that fast? So like I said, I never know when I'm going to have an issue. That's why I use my herbal aloe anti-shedding scalp treatment, because can't normalize like everyday stress. We normalize everyday stress. Everyday stress could be like dealing with kids, stuff like that. Or it could be spiritual stress. It could be like a true spiritual cleansing, like clean your friends list, reevaluate like your routine, all this other stuff. So I was having, like, at the time when I had discovered this or whatever, um I was like having headaches every day. My sleep had become non-existent. I developed a twitch in the eye, maybe heart palpitations. I'm telling you it all. I had to sit down. um didn't end up going to the hospital or nothing like that, thank God, by the grace. But I had to realize that my lifestyle, like whatever my lifestyle had become after all this time, definitely was just not conducive to my longevity. So I started working out, like found time in my schedule to do those things, put myself on a schedule, meditated, slowed down, stopped trying to put so much on my plate. Um, I let the perfection go. I let um always like having to be on go. Started making more time to relax. Started being more selective about those who can be around me. Stopped watching certain stuff, stopped watching things or clicking on things that was there for just shock value, stopped going, um allowing myself to be exposed to people who are either on the extreme, stop putting up with um extreme personalities. Like if, like, I just stopped dealing with it all. I just stopped dealing with it all. I just stopped. There was just no point. Um, Another thing is that when it comes to my edges, I'm 10 times more sensitive about my edges, because it seems like edges are the first thing to go as well when it comes to stress and pulling and all this other stuff, like traction, any kind of traction, mechanical stress that I put on it seems to snatch out any of my good stuff. The only reason why it's as long as it is, like, is because like I baby the heck out of it too. I know I always have a guaranteed amount of shed hair coming from that region. There's just no way around it. I'm I'm very I wouldn't say I'm put an intentional amount of um treatment along my edges as well, just because I just don't want no problems. I don't want no problem. Ain't really much to it. Try to braid this more towards the backwards motion. My edges and I are in pretty good standings. I mean, I know exactly what to expect from them. They know what to expect from me. Um I don't necessarily, I'm not the like person that's going to slick nothing down. So I mean, what you see is what you get. My edges are as neat as I can get with smoothing my hair and a like smoothing down my hair without a tool. But I don't, for me it's not a must to just be taking my edges and making them quote unquote neat. Like what is that, like, when it comes to edges for African people? Like, why am I slicking the curl out of my hair for the sake of style or whatever? Because all it's doing is stressing out the follicle and making it thin out. So this is kind of what my edges look like. And then when I put my little do-rag on or my silk bonnet on, all it's going to do is just flatten it down. But I don't make it a point to intentionally mechanically do so. Like, if it lays, it lays. If it doesn't, it doesn't. What matters is that I did some degree of moisture maintenance to my hair. I didn't allow it to be dry, removed unnecessary shed hair, and kept it pushing. As far as style is concerned, I am on a minimum side of the spectrum. And no, not every occasion is for me to keep my dookie braids in. I will let them out for an occasional braid out, but it had better be important. It had better be important, for sure. It's like taking them out, putting braids in, and taking them out, putting them in, and taking them out. I know some people who can do it. Oddly enough, I know people, which goes to show that not every routine, there's no one solid way for everyone. I know some people who could spritz their hair, put their twists in, take them out the next day, and still have a head full of hair. Could I do that? No. I think what it is like, maybe when I was doing it, I was in the military, so then of course, here's the neatness politics. So I would brush down my hair before I actually put it up in continued on with the braid or whatever, but in the same breath I was snatching hair. I was snatching hair out. I was snatching hair out, and even though I had a head full of hair, my hair was breaking off as fast as it was growing. So I scarcely enjoyed like the benefits of truly seeing like what length I could achieve, because my goal was length and body. So if my goal is length and body, there's a lot of things that I particularly cannot do to my hair. I respect all the twists and all the bends, and what comes with twists and bends is single strand knots, easily becoming tangled. Seems to experience dryness. You can't do any and everything to it. I can't use hair tools, at least not in its twisted state, in its kinky, in a kinky state. If I was to detangle my hair in any fashion with a tool, it would have to be done first by my hair being in its most linear straight version possible, meaning that I have to do a full blowout on it before I actually put a tool to it, which is the reason why I have the Revere blow dryer, so it can suck it down and get it in its most linear state before I actually brush it, which means that is the easiest way to remove any hair that's having a hard time like shedding out. It is what it is. I don't make the rules. I just pay attention. I have a healthy relationship with my hair, and I think my hair has a healthy relationship with me. If I don't do certain stuff, she will abandon ship. That is, it is what it is. But I don't think that I'm not enjoying. I think like some people's questions are, well, if you have to be so careful with your hair, do you enjoy your hair? Of course, I absolutely do. I don't know, like I guess I don't have to always wear it. Like my hair is for my pleasure. Like I don't walk outside and hope to display myself for other people's sake. My hair is for my sake. So I do enjoy my hair in private. I enjoy doing like putting it in different things for a short amount of time, but at the same time I'm also a very no muss no fuss person. So the dookie braids routine is just kind of works best for me, to be quiet. You see that little bit of fuzz and stuff like that, that would bother some people. That would really bother them. It's like, oh, 9 times out of 10, the usual response is, oh, well, girl, it looks good on you, but you know me, I don't know, it just won't look right. I don't know, and stuff like that. It's like, I'm not worried about it. I'm just not worried about it. So I pay my taxes. I'm a good citizen. I do what I have to do, and I keep it pushing. I move on to the next. It's like I make up for it by keeping my hair wrapped and obviously taking care of my strands. But you know, for some people, that little bit of new growth fuzz, like down to the roots, like that couldn't get snatched or cinched in, would bother them. So I know I can't let my hair be all out in the breeze because it's those very short new growth hairs that will wrap around longer strands and create a scene and a fuss. So it is what it is. I saw this thing called the bucket challenge where you take some kind of curling product and then you dip your hair into the bucket and then you and this is for giggles, right? So you dip your hair into the bucket, scrunch. You scrunch and you scrunch and you scrunch and you scrunch. And it's supposed to give you the easiest, fastest curls ever. And I'm like, I'm seeing this a lot of 2B, 3B girls, uh, 3 texture range ladies do this challenge, and I'm just like, I'm thinking to myself, all I could think about is single strand knots, cause I'm in a four zone. I'm in a type 4 zone. I'm in a type 4 zone where every kink and coil has a mind of its own, and even if I were to spiral it or scrunch it in some kind of direction, the fact of the matter is that if I'm puffed at the roots, I won't have movement at the roots. And if I don't have movement at the roots, it's just one stiff glob. And not that that's bad, but if that's not what I was going for, plus the tangles that I can envision having wouldn't be worth it. Then I think you have to brush your hair during that time, like for the challenge to kind of sort of get everything linear to set it up. And I was like, well, I have a much more healthier, longer but conducive way of setting myself up for a wash and go. And this in particular just ain't it. It's just not it for me. But I encourage anyone who can do it and live their best life to do it. But certain hair types can't do everything you see on the internet. That's the problem. That is the problem. The problem is that sometimes we'll see someone with hair that is not like ours, hair that is not like ours, do something, try to achieve the same results, and then get mad at the fact that we don't. It's like, that's like a person with straight hair doing that challenge and being mad because their hair never curled up and stuff like that. Everybody can't do everything. It's obvious that people who have bone straight hair to begin with, who actually get, a flat iron or whatever, a silk press or something like that, is going to have a straighter silk press than me. I have either done silk presses wrong, may not have went to the right person, may not have taken into consideration that there is like moisture in the air, humidity to combat, didn't remember to have a heat, anti-humectant or heat treatment, what is it called? Heat protectant in or whatever. But regardless of which, I have rarely gotten a flat iron that was actually worth it and lasted longer than a day or two. At this point in my life, I'm not interested in having them because, to be quite honest, I don't think much of straight hair. I don't think badly of it. I don't think much of it. I just don't think it's a necessity for me. I personally don't see the appeal, but that's just me. It just doesn't work for me. And even when I do have the hair, have my hair in that state, I can't do anything with my hair because I'm not used to my hair not having texture and body and being able to do anything. It's just a waste of time. At least for me. It'll be a waste of time and money for me personally. But um like not everybody feels that. Like there's some people who only want to see their hair in a straightened state. Um and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I'm going to go back to what I was saying. Not everything is for everybody. Like not everything that a woman with bone straight hair, I'm not about to do the same thing that a woman with bone straight hair does. A woman with three with 4B hair may not be able to do the same thing as a woman with 2B, 3B hair. Um, Women in the 1B range will definitely not be able to do what women in the, I want to say 3C, 4 range do. Our hair can defy gravity. Um, you know, basically protect us from all types of bips and dings when it comes to our heads and stuff like that. We can use our hair as a pillow. There is pros and cons, and I just think that we need to think about that whenever we see these new things on the internet. But that concludes my official refresh for today. I had a lot of fun. Um Definitely just going on about this. It was wonderful that my cousin hit me up, that we could chop it up a little bit. This was fun. Like, I really appreciate it. Said, please leave me comments below and let me know about how you spend your personal self-care day. Let me know what I can do to improve my stuff. If you have any tips and tricks of your own that you'd like to share with the community, that would be great. I'm definitely going to link anything that I have that was mentioned in the video in the description box. Again, please share. Please let the rest of us know what you got going on. I would love to hear about it. Thank you and have a great day, Peaches. See you later. Bye. No one can love you like you. Love yourself. Be nice to yourself. Believe in yourself. Have a great day.